Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Boxing Authorities. Joining me at the desk, as always, Luther Dupree Jr., Smoking Jim Frazier, and my name is Claudio Relsano. Today, we have an incredibly special guest who's a very special person as well, somebody who I admire in the ring and out. When I think of him, a lot of people might think of that big punch he has. I think about what a class person he is, and that is former heavyweight champ of the world, Mike Weaver, Hercules Weaver. Mike, thank you so much for being on the show.
It is my pleasure. Thank you very much. My pleasure.
All right. Mike, we have our, as I said, our co-host, Luther Dupree and Smoking Jim Frazier. We're big fans of yours. But first question, Mike, tell us how you got involved in boxing, please.
Well, I got involved in boxing when I went in the Marine Corps. I was one day in the Marine Corps. I went to the club. I went to the jukebox to play a song, and a guy got there the same time I did. He like shoved me out the way, and I shoved him back. he kind of swung at me, but he missed. I swung at him and connected and knocked him out. About a few days later, they come to look at that. The officers come look at me in the barracks and ask if I'd be interested in joining the boxing team. I told him I don't know first thing about boxing. And he said, "Well, guy you knocked on the other day in the club was a heavyweight champion of the Marine Corps." That's how it started. By me knocking out a guy who was a boxer of the Marine Corps, and I told the guy, I'm glad he was drunk.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, you mentioned Ken Norton had a little something to do with your career too, correct?
Yes, he did. He had about me. He used to tell me, "Man, he said I wouldn't train. You know, I go to Ken Norton. He would say, you can make it, Mike, if you just put your, train. I'll go to gym one day and you wouldn't see me no more for a week or two." And he said, you not take it seriously. Then one day I was probably one of Ken Norton's top friends, Eddie Bosman Jones, and I knocked him out of the gym. And Ken Norton, he kept on talking to me, and I took it serious. I mean, maybe if I put a little effort again in the game, maybe I can do a little bit of something. So that's what I did. Okay. He encouraged me.
All right. Now, is it true that he gave you the nickname Hercules?
That's very true.
Okay. I always heard the rumor that it's Ken Norton. But now
it was Ken Norton.
Yeah, so you also trained and did some sparring with Muhammad Ali. Just talk about Ali, how it was sparring with him. Just talk about Ali.
Well, I just fought Ali one time. In fact, one time 4 rounds. It was in Tahoe, and Ken Norton was fighting on the card, and Ali was fighting Bob Foster at the same time. And I was just there. One day I was watching Ali work at Bob Foster, and they thought I was joking, like I was spying for Ken Norton. And Ali told me, "Come on, get in the ring. Get in the ring. I'm gonna get it just playfully." And I got in the ring. We played in about 4 rounds. That was it.
Okay.
So I wasn't no spirit sport partner. He said, "Come on around. What's the guy's name? Juba Dean said, "Come on, get in the ring." And work on a couple rounds, and I did. And so that's all I did.
Okay. Now, we talk about the greatest era of heavyweight boxing. I believe the 70s was the greatest era of boxing. Smoking Jim says it's today. Can you just talk about that era of the 70s and what it was like boxing in the 70s?
And 80s.
And 80s.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I started boxing in the 70s. I think my first fight turned pro in 70, I think 71, 72. And it was I can't say which era was the best era. But I actually fought anybody. They said, "Mike, throw me in the ring with it. Will you fight him?" I'll fight him, whether I took it seriously or not, or in shape or not. So I think that it was pretty tough. I mean, I remember my first fight. I got paid $56.
Wow.
That's my first pay. The fight was for $85. Yeah, at the magic got their money, I got $56. Never forget that. And it was an 8-rounder too.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Wow.
So, but I thought like somebody told me that, well, in your area, y'all you fought hard, fought anybody, and didn't get paid. I said, well,
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Weaver, this is Smoking
yes,
Jim.
sir.
You, at the beginning of your career, I know you fought the Barbic brothers. They were great fighters, but you were only
Yeah.
7-7, and then you ended up being 20-8. Your career took off. Is that when you changed management? Talk about changing the management and how that helped your career.
Right. I turned pro. I didn't have good management. Didn't have good management. Matter the guy who was Lance was like a friend of mine. Who actually taught me to turn pro, and he managed me. And he didn't know anything about boxing. And like I said, and one day I was in the gym sparring with Don Manuel, one of his partners, A. Bossman Jones, the top light heavyweight. And I actually knocked him out. And the other time, he only been knocked out twice. The other time, the other guy did it with a guy. I mean, the other guy knocked him out of the gym, was in the gym also. It was George Foreman. So my mentor, Don Manuel, came and when he talked to me, he told me what he could do this for me. And asked who was my manager, who was my trainer. I said, so and so, these guys, my member, they ain't doing anything. He said, well, if you sign with me, I can break the contract. If you fought in a year, I can break the contract. And sign with me, I can do things for you. So that was like in 77, I believe. And I signed with him, and that's what happened.
All right. You one fight, and I think we have some video of this. You have one of the finest knockouts in history against Tate. Some people say you might have been losing for the first 10 rounds, but that knockout was classic. We're going to run it now. Can you just talk about that fight? And maybe 10 rounds, tough 10 rounds, but you ended it in classic fashion. Can you talk about that fight?
Well, Tate was, he was winning all 14 rounds.
14 rounds.
Right.
All 14. The only round I believe I won was the 12th round when I got I heard him in the 12th round. But I remember my manager telling me, he said, you've been telling everybody you're going to win the fight, and you're going to win the fight. This is your last round. You got to win the fight. So I actually bet people I was won the fight. And the last round, my manager told me, well, it's the last round. You got to go out and do it. If you don't do it, don't come back. and that's about it. And the Tate fight, I couldn't get off of it. I just couldn't do anything until I had to do it.
Yeah,
Mike,
Big John Tate was a great fighter. He was undefeated at that
Yeah,
time.
right.
Larry Holmes was undefeated, so
Right.
they was looking for
that
that to be the big mega fight until that left hook.
That left
from
hook.
Weaver.
Mike, that was March of 1980, right? And I was in 10th grade. And I'm telling you,
March 31st.
a couple years ago, right? But the thing is, everybody on our team, we were talking about this fight, right? And I'm telling you, I'm the only one who said Weaver's going to win. Weaver's going to win, right? So after the first round, everybody's calling me, busting my chops, right? So I quit answering the phone, right? Then you came up with that big shot. Nobody called me anymore, and I was so happy for you. But I have to ask you a question. Would you, if Tate would have gotten up somehow, would you have been able to fight? Because that was the greatest picture in the world. You jumped up and down, and you were lying next to him. Would you have been able to fight?
No, I never thought about that. If he would have got up, no, but I remember he'll take right to the body. I heard like a song like that. He dropped his hand. I hit him, but I hit him. I knew he wasn't getting up, and so I just knew he wasn't getting up, and so I said, yeah, now, because I actually had bet so many people had so many bets out that if I would have lost and paid him, I wouldn't have nothing left.
Yeah, because you were jumping up and down, then you flopped on the ground. But before Jim asks his next question, when Reggie Jackson used to hit a home run, he knew it, he felt it. He would throw the bat, flip the bat, he'd watch it. When you hit that shot, when you landed that shot, did you know that was a home run?
Yeah, one last shot, I knew it. I want to hit him the right to the body with his left hand and left hook. I knew he was not getting up. He's not the next 15, 20, 30 minutes.
Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah.
Makes you think I had a question.
Oh, I thought you did. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, Lou.
Hey, Mike, we definitely appreciate all the stories, man. This is excellent. I did want to ask you, are you keeping up with heavyweight boxing right now? And if so, did the Dion? Are you keeping up with heavyweight boxing now?
You know, I really don't. I really don't keep up with him. I didn't even see Deontay fight. I didn't really see it. I really don't keep up with the heavyweight boxing too much.
Hey, here's a tip. Here's a tip, Coach Weaver. They're making more than $56 a fight today.
I know you could wish. I know you. It'd be nice if you could come back and fight for some of the prices they're getting now, man. I mean, they're really making some good money. But I mean, I think boxers. I think boxers, man. You guys are true warriors, and the fact that you guys get in the ring and lay your life on the line is just amazing. Just talk about the mentality of a boxer, because we can talk about it on the sidelines, but we haven't gotten in the ring where it could be one punch and your whole life can change. Just talk about the mentality that you have to have as a boxer.
Yeah, the people. Yeah, okay, you have to have that. I remember my father was a boxer growing up. My father was a boxer, and he's the one. I remember he's one of us to box. He put gloves on as a little kid, but I hated it. I hated the boxing. I don't want to be a boxer. I actually want to be a star football player, something like that. So I got involved in it, and then I wasn't a bad kid going out store and fighting. I was quiet. I was quiet. So when I got the Marine Corps and people found out a boxer, they could not you boxing, Michael. You don't have the mentality of a boxer. You just don't. It's not the type. But I did it and then the mentality of, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I got the point that like I said, with Ken Norton, it kept telling me that I wasn't take it seriously. You can do something, you make noise in the heavy division. I did it. Then I try to do it the best I can. I mean, but like I said, I had a point. I would fight anybody. If the fight come up, I would fight. I didn't pick my fights. And I just thought that I thought that in the ring, if I hit somebody, if I hit somebody, I'd knock them out. But sometimes didn't go that way. But
hey, Coach Weaver, this is Smoking Jim. Hey, listen, you're Hercules. You would fight anybody, anytime. There's nobody tougher on the planet than a Marine. So if you was coming along today, would you maybe gotten into MMA instead of boxing?
I don't know. You know what? Actually, when I was a little kid, when I was around 11, 12, 13, I actually took karate. I liked it. I was in the martial art, and I did that until I went to the Marine Corps. But today I probably wouldn't. I probably would stay with boxing because, like I said, I took the Marine karate when I was a youngster, and the Marine Corps I came out of boxing. So I don't know. I think I would prefer boxer better.
A fight that, when we talk about the Tate fight, but a fight that doesn't get enough coverage is when you fought a guy who was really good, and that was Carl the Truth Williams. He was doing pretty good against you. Then all of a sudden, you landed that big shot, and then you were a great finisher. Talk about that fight.
Yeah, yes, this fight, let me see, man, yeah, okay, man, this fight. Well, I actually heard, in the rest of my I heard Carl once say, yeah, I should knock Michael out about, somebody told his thing, the trainer said, yeah, you should knock him out about 2 or 3 rounds, something like that, but just take your time. And I boxed, I heard, and I told her, and, man, I told her, I said, man, I said, my trainer Rayburn said, just keep your hands up, keep coming here. When you see a shot, go for it, go for the home. And that's what I did. And so, but I mean, that's all I can say.
That was a nice hit. And then like I said, what I like about it is something we talked about is like Sugar Ray Leonard was a great finisher. Mike Tyson was a great finisher.
Yeah.
And you didn't just wait and admire your work. You went after him
No.
and you finished him off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Luther?
Yeah.
Hey, no, we have a Marine fighting this weekend, Jamel Herring, and after talking to you, I think I might have to change my prediction because Marines have a different mentality, and I think he might have a chance against Shakur Stevenson. But one thing I wanted to ask you.
Gomer Powell would have a better shot.
There you go, Jim. Mike, who would you say hit you the hardest? Who was the hardest punch? Who hit you the hardest in your fight career? If it's a puncher like, man, he really caught me.
The hard punch. I think first I remember the guy by the name of Bernardo Mercado.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if I would be, he's the hardest puncher. We actually used to spar first in the gym. He dropped in the gym, in the gym, and then that was the last time I worked with him. Then for some reason, by a year later we fought. But I thought he was a very hard. At that time, I think he was like I was working on around like 200 pounds one night. He was like maybe 215, 6'4", something like that. Okay. He was a very hard puncher. Also, Coach Field, Gary Coach Field was the South African.
Sure.
James Bunker Smith was.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But the hardest punch I think was to me was Bernardo Mercado.
You look at the record, and we talked about this the previous show about who had the greatest resumes in boxing, like who fought the most named fighters. I mean, you fought Larry Holmes, 2-3 times, Dokes, Coetzee, you mentioned, Lennox Lewis, Razor Ruddock,
Right.
James Quick Tillis, Mercado. I mean, you fought everybody, and of course, and you held your own or you beat them. I mean, what do you think about fighters today when they kind of pick and choose, or their promoters, whoever, they kind of pick and choose? You just said numerous times, you fought anybody. If there was a fight, you were there. What do you think about the guys today who kind of pick and choose?
Yeah, I really don't like that. I don't like that guy pick who he want to fight because the Billy record up. No, I think you should get in there and fight the best. Not fight whoever.
Right.
But I really don't like that picking. I'm picking. No, I ain't gonna fight this guy. I fight. Yeah, I ain't gonna fight the number 1 contender. I'm gonna fight the number 10 contender.
Right.
Somebody that. I just think you should fight the best fighter out there, the best person out there to determine who's the best.
Right.
Speaking of who's the best, Mike, in your opinion, who would you say is the best heavyweight of all time?
Well, I just love Muhammad Ali. I just love Muhammad because I used to always go to his house and speak to him, and he had good stories to tell me. And I just say, to me personally, I would say it was Muhammad Ali because he was a great boxer. I mean, he opened the doors for people, and he made the way. I just think if I had to put one, I'd say number 1 was Ali.
All right.
Now, today, with all the guys that are 6'6", 6'9", and all that, I still think somebody with a punch and who could go to the body and somebody who was smart could do well today. How do you think you would have done today?
Well, like I said, the fight I see this fight today, and I said I think I would did this differently. I would do this. And I said I probably would I probably would be up there.
I think so.
I thought I was up there. Some reason I see way people fight, and I think one fight watching with somebody said, guy said, my friend, how do you do it? How do you think you do it here, Michael? I said, well, by the time he cocked his punches back, I think I could get my punch in before his land. I said, I think I would have hung. I think I would have hung a little. Well, I probably would have made a little noise if I was
Well,
there on the
I'll
day.
tell you why I agree with you. And we're just going to use the Tate fight, right? As you
Yeah.
said, admittedly, for 14 rounds, he was doing pretty good. Okay, then the 15th, you had enough stamina, enough heart,
Yeah.
enough power to hit him with one. I mean, you hit him with a couple shots, but that big left, right? Nowadays, you see guys who get tired after the fourth, after the third round,
Exactly.
and they're not getting a hit. I mean, because when you get hit, obviously you're going to be more tired. You were getting
Exactly.
hit, and then all of a sudden, bang! You had enough in you. That's why I think you would have still been big time today. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Yes, I agree with that. I agree. I would agree with that. Because I know that they were talking about before the tape, they said, I read somewhere they said Mike Weaver, he don't have stamina. He can't. He's not gonna be able to go to this. He'll have the stamina. Some stamina. They're talking about stamina. I don't know why. Because like I said, I just used to train too much in the early career. But for the tape fight, I ran my 5-6 mile a day and trained real hard, and I was just a natural slow starter. So, but
Right. Okay. Speaking of training, we have guys now. Some guys say, "Oh, we do 8 weeks." We even had a fighter said he only needs 3 weeks to train. What was training like for you, and how long did you train? Like, how many weeks?
Good question.
What was your training
Okay.
regimen?
okay, let's say I know we would go to camp. We would go to camp like maybe a month before the fight. But let's start getting ready to fight, I would start training like probably seriously about 2 months before time. Plus, when we go to camp is usually like 3 to 4 weeks. So usually I think I get a good at least 2 months, 8 to 10 weeks.
The thing though with you, Mike, to Luther's point, you'll see a lot of these fighters after a fight, they'll gain 10, 15, 30 pounds. You were always,
Yeah.
you always look great. You always had pretty much that same weight. So I would assume
Yeah.
that when you went back in the camp, it wasn't hard. It isn't like you had to worry about
Right.
losing 30 pounds. You could go right into fighting and doing the tech part of it. Mechanics. Is that true?
Yeah, true. I never gain weight. I used to try to gain weight for extra pound, but my fight was all around like I used to fight around like between 210, 215. That's okay. If I wasn't in training, the highest I probably would give was 220, 225.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I go training, go to camp. I know what. Like that, right? Even today, I'm about only about 250, and so weight that was no problem. Gaining weight, and I ate anything. Ice cream cake.
That's all right. You deserve it. You've earned it.
Yeah.
You've earned it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. So
one question I had, and it's kind of what Claudia says. You have guys now, they really, it seems like they're weight trained. Like, they walk around 180, 190, but they're
Exactly.
fighting welterweight. Did you know guys that
Exactly.
did that, and how dangerous is that, in your opinion?
I never knew a lot. I didn't know a lightweight, a guy who was like, you think he was a welterweight, and I think he used to get. One day I saw him, man, you big as I am, man.
Right.
You must be talking about Roberto Duran.
You know what? I did see Roberto Duran one day, and this back day he was in Vegas. I said, God, man, how much weight, bro? You got big you big I am, man. But,
Oh, man.
it wasn't
great.
it was.
One of the things that I remember before the Tate fight, they did a little piece on you, and you're a great musician, piano player.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Not no great piano
Well,
player.
I thought you were good.
You're better than Claudio.
You're better than me.
Especially Jim.
I heard you play some Commodores, so you got to be good in my book. Tell us about your music, your piano talents.
Oh yeah. Oh, I still play piano, but I don't know great piano, and I play piano. And my brother always say, you know, I'm always playing Lionel Richie. I like a lot of Lionel Richie stuff. My brother says, "Oh, there's Lionel Richie upstairs."
There you go.
Oh, wow.
There you go. Now, Mike, do you ever? And we talked about this before, but I mean, you're a humble guy. I know people who haven't done anything and they act big time. You were the heavyweight champ of the world. Do you ever, in quiet moments, just say, "Man, I really was the heavyweight champ of the world"? Do you ever think about that and reflect on it and give yourself credit for the career that you had?
Yes, I do something.
Good.
The day, a lot of times I was in the bed watch TV. Then pop my head, Mike, you was once champion of the world.
That's right.
You ain't nobody now. My brother, I tell my brother, I said, I don't know, I told my brother, we all joke a lot. I said, I was once heavyweight champion of the world, brother. Yeah, now they ain't nobody. I think I once heavyweight champion of the world. I believe I was the number 26 or 27 heavyweight champion of the world of all time. And I said, you can't. That's history. That's not going. That's going to always be there.
Right.
So,
do you ever watch any of your old fights?
All the time.
Yeah, all right. I love that. Oh, man. That's great. That's great.
All the time.
There you go.
And what's your favorite one to watch? What is your favorite one? If you had to watch one, which one would you say? If you want to know about Mike Weaver, you want to watch this fight.
The favorite one to watch is the tape fight.
Oh yeah, that knockout is
Yeah.
classic, man.
Yeah.
That's one of the greatest ever. I love that, man.
Now, Mike, what
Yeah,
did
I
your
like
family, when you won the belt, what did your family say? I mean, were they supportive? Were they happy for you? Sometimes people, jealousy can enter into it. But what were the feelings when you did win the belt?
Well, all my friends, they're very supportive toward me. They're more than happy. Because my mother, she went to fight. My mother went to fight when I won the championship. My mother won me, and one of my oldest brother went with me. And there was big Tennessee. They hopped in the rain. They was all happy hopping. People in the rain. That was my mother and my brother hopping in the rain, and they were very supportive. My family was very supportive, back me and everything. So I got
That's
to say,
good. Now, on Facebook, you have a picture of all of your brothers wearing belts. Talk to us about that great picture.
That's one day. One day, my brother said they that they brought their belt over here, showed me that the belt they got, and I said, and we took the picture. I said, took the picture of me holding my belt. I said, I play with them a lot. I said, y'all got one belt. I think I got sick.
And those are beautiful belts.
Yeah.
Well earned, for sure.
Yeah, we always know they very proud of the belt. I mean, they got their belt. They was driving everywhere they go they had to build a car. They go store. They go to store there, but they had to build a car. I told her, I was the same way I got my first bill. My first bill I got was my part Scholar Bill for North America. I had to do a bill. Everywhere I went for about a month, I had that bill in the car with me shorter than people.
Hey, speaking of belts, over the last couple years, I've seen some things I didn't see. Like before the fight, I saw a heavyweight champion let another guy hold his belts before they fought. Did you ever do that? Or you said you're not touching these belts at any time?
No, I never did that. No.
Yeah, that was the first time I had ever seen somebody let somebody hold the belts before the fight. And I was like, man, if I was a boxer, I'd be like, you're never touching these
I
belts.
wish your parents was more generous with the belt when you were growing up.
Hey, well, Mike Weaver agrees with me.
That's right.
You never should let that happen. Thanks for clearing that up for me, because we have Smoke and Jim who
He always
believes
goes
that's what you
against
should
Luther.
do. So he's wrong quite a bit, and I like to have heavyweight champions of the world
That's
back
right.
me up.
Mike, let me ask you this.
Yep.
If you were the commissioner of boxing, all right, what would you do? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? What would you change? What would you do with it to make it better?
What about boxing?
Yes.
Oh man, I say if you are a champion, you have to fight the top
Okay.
top contenders like that. Everybody, I mean, you can't fight nobody with a top contender fight because they're doing record fighting somebody who ain't want to fight yet, but they still fighting. I just make sure certain people you have to fight. I believe the top 10 fighters should fight people in the top 10. I don't know.
How
Hey,
about?
Coach,
Go ahead.
Hey, Coach Weaver,
Yes, sir.
do you believe that boxing should go back to 15
sir.
rounds? I do. Those were the championship
do.
rounds.
Yeah, I do. I like that. I like the 15 rounds. Yeah, I think it should go back. Yeah, I really do.
All right.
One of the things. Oh, I'm sorry. Go
Good.
ahead.
Mike, I was going to ask, who were some of your promoters coming up? Who did you work with coming up? And maybe some that you like better than others.
Don King, Bob Arum.
Oh, okay. The legends.
They're the best.
Yeah, those two top ones, but other promoters, I forgot the name.
Right.
Those are the main ones.
Now, can you give us Don King is kind of falling back, but Bob Arum is still out here promoting. He was
Right,
going
right,
off on some people a couple weeks ago. Just talk about Don King and Bob Arum and what you think about them.
Well, let's see. I don't know. I can't. Well, I don't know. I can't say. I can't say. I don't want to say anything bad, but I want to. Well, I'd say I can't say anything about it.
I think you said it all. I think you said it all.
Yeah, it's okay.
One thing that I would do if there was a commissioner, what I'd like to see happen is some sort of a pension fund for the fighters, something to help the fighters out after their careers. What do you think about that?
I agree with that too. They should have something that the fighter who put the pension stuff that they fight. Somebody first going to a pension plan, so when you retire, you can have something. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And maybe they would did my day would have something.
Right. And one thing I've always wondered, a lot of sports have like one commissioner. It's regulated. And boxing, I always say it's the wild, wild west. I mean, we see things happen in boxing that doesn't happen in any other sports. Do you
Like
think
what?
it should be under
Yeah.
what?
Like
a whole lot of some shadiness. Do you think it would be better if there was like one commissioner, or if the federal government got in and kind of regulated a little better?
I think that will be better. I tell it would be better. It was by one authority or tell all these different ones. Yeah, I think it would be a lot better if just one man authority would make the decisions and stuff like that. Yeah, I agree with you there.
I like boxing the way it is.
Now tell us what do you do today? What keeps you busy today? I see your beautiful family you put on Facebook, and they truly are a beautiful family. And but tell us what keeps you busy, what keeps you occupied today, your interests.
Well, the cost is COVID around and stuff like that. I really don't go nowhere, but I don't really go nowhere, but really just stay here. So I love casino.
And you did good. Hey, wait a minute. You put a picture.
You and Smoking Jim would be great friends.
Jim has an office. Jim has an office at the Rivers Casino here in Pittsburgh.
And Mountaineer.
And Mountaineer. And you had a pretty nice hit not too long ago. I was happy for you.
All
Yeah, I
right.
love casino. We go to my brother, my sister, my friend, my buddy. We go to casino Anybody call me say they want to go to the hospital? Go. I'm ready to go. I love to go. I went yesterday. Too. I went yesterday, but I just like going to casino. I like go see play my little P machines. One day last night I had a jackpot last week. It was for $800. But I just like going to casino, sitting down. That's how I enjoy myself. Just sitting down playing machines, and that's about it.
There you go. Yeah, when I saw that on Facebook, I said, good for Mike. I sent you a little note. Congratulations. Hey, what was better, the tape knockout or knocking out that casino machine?
Knocking that casino machine better.
Well, let me ask you this. Who hits you harder, the boxers or the machine?
The casino hit twice as hard.
Oh, okay. I believe that.
Yeah, the casino, a lot of times, I go to the casino crying, don't have no money.
Oh, man, I believe that. You know what, Mike? I heard this on Saturday. A friend of mine told me this story. I don't know how true it is, but this is what he told me. There was a lady who, I don't know which casino, but she played the penny slots. And it hit for $21 million.
That ain't true.
Wait a minute. So listen to this. She goes to the counter or whatever, and they said, no, ma'am, it was a malfunction. She said, I don't care what it was. Just said I hit for $21 million. Listen to this. They offered her $10,000 and a steak dinner. And she said, no, I want that $21 million. Now, I don't know what happened.
Fake news.
But I'll be damned.
Is that Claudia?
No, that's what a friend of mine told me.
Is that CMZ?
That's what somebody told me, Mike. I wouldn't lie to Mike Weaver. I'll be damned if I take $10,000 in a steak dinner. I want that money.
I'll take it.
Me too. I almost take all my money.
See, the reason why they say Smoking Jim here, we love Smoking Jim, but he has something called, you know how they have Wikipedia? Well, he has Smokepedia, where he comes up with this stuff. It's like, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah, the Book of Jim.
The Book of Jim, right? The Book of Jim. But Mike, you know what? We don't want to take. We could talk to you all day, and I meant what I said. You know, there's people who kind of. They haven't done anything, and they kind of give you the highbrows, right? You're a class man. You've always been great with me, and I appreciate you. And I hope someday to be able to meet you because you were always one of my favorites.
Thank you very much. Me too. I'd like to meet you. I think you call me anytime. I'm not doing anything. Watch right now. You might watch my favorite picture right now on TV, Judge Judy. I love
Judge Judy.
Everybody loves Judge Judy.
All right, man. Well, we thank you for your time, and good luck at the casino. I'll be looking on Facebook to check you out.
Keep winning.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Oh, man.
My pleasure. Anytime, man. I enjoy this. Anytime.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
Okay.
See you later, brother.
Bye.
All right, on that, we're going to take a quick break. We're right back with the Boxing Authorities. Okay, welcome back to the Boxing Authorities. And I take offense to Luther saying Claudiopedia. I'm serious. I heard that story.
News. You've been hanging around Jim
maybe
too
it
much.
is fake news.
It's
That's what I was told.
bleeding.
But what would you do if they said you hit for 21? I will give you 10 grand in the damn dinner.
Hey, she had the right idea. You better give me my 21 million. I can buy a lot of steak dinners with 21
I can
million.
buy the place.
I
Right.
take the 10 grand.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, right.
No, you wouldn't. Why?
Because
They would have said Jim read the ticket
It's a
wrong.
malfunction.
Oh, Jim. This is coming from a guy who wants to see the boxers dragged out.
Right.
Money on the wood is always good.
All right. Well, that was a great time with Mike Weaver. And again, legendary guy. And think about that. Again, he was getting hit pretty good for 15 and a half or 14 and a half rounds, lands that big hook, and that was the end of it.
Man.
And you got to watch it. Watch his celebration. We checked it out a little bit.
Great era of boxing when he fought. Not as good as this era.
Oh,
The greatest
it's
era,
better. It's
greatest era, and
But
the greatest
anyway.
heavyweight, according to Mike Weaver.
That's right, and we'll take his word for it. But we have a few minutes left, and we're going to go to our mailbox section. So, again, another Sheila. This is from West Virginia, to all three of us. Why didn't Ronda Rousey go into boxing? And if she did, how would she have done? Luther.
Ronda Rousey was a hype job. You saw what happened. You know, she talked all that stuff. I'll beat Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Holly Holmes. All these girls
Clocked
beat her
her, not
down,
just beat her.
destroyed her face, ran her into the movies. Very overrated, very overhyped UFC fighter. You know, she's a mom now. She can do her movies, but very overhyped. I was never sold on her. I was glad when she got her face smashed
I
in.
agree with you, Luther. Smoking Jim.
Well, Luther didn't answer the question, so I will. But first of all, Ronda Rousey was the greatest thing in the history of combat sports. She put him on the map, but she learned
Nobody talks about
She
her.
grew up with a different discipline. She learned a different discipline, and the young people, when she was coming along, MMA and UFC was a lot bigger than boxing in the young people's mind. So that's why she went into that, and rightfully so.
All right. This is for me from Sam, Parma, Ohio. Did the wrestler Johnny B. Bad? Was he ever a boxer? He was an amateur boxer. Mark Merrow. Yeah, he was an amateur boxer, pretty good career. Although whenever they did the wrestling thing, the boxers, they boxed each other. He lost to the guy, I forgot his name.
Was Virgil a boxer?
That I don't know. But he lost to the guy who eventually, I don't think it was Bradshaw. I forgot his name. Not Bradshaw, I forgot his name. But the guy who fought Butterbean. And we talked about it before when Butterbean was
Butterbean has been on
I know he's been
on the
talking
shows,
about
man,
it.
for a
When
while.
Vinny Paz was the referee, he damn near decapitated him. And on WrestleMania, we talked about that before.
First
But yes,
celebrity boxer.
Mark Merrow was a amateur boxer. This is for all three. Do you remember your first fight you saw on TV? I do. Luther, go ahead.
Man, I've seen. Yeah, I'm trying to think. What was my first fight? It
And
had
that
to be
was-
a Sugar
I remember
Ray
who it
Leonard
was.
fight.
Okay.
You know, I just remember the flair. You know, the flash, the spinning. He just was just amazing. I never saw anybody move like that. With my dad and grandfather, you know, rest in peace. But it was just amazing, man. And I saw Sugar Ray. I fell in love with the sport. Started going back, watching everybody. Unfortunately, my first time seeing Ali wasn't at his best.
Yeah.
But I went back and saw all of his fights. And I just said, man, these guys are special. And I've been looking for another Sugar Ray. We got to stop giving out this Sugar Ray name. But yeah, it was a Sugar Ray fight. I forget exactly who he fought.
So
but it
no.
was Sugar
So
Ray.
the answer would be no.
Jim, do you remember?
Yeah, I remember my exact fight that I
No, you
watched
don't.
on
You made
TV.
this
I was
up.
about 4 years old. I did something wrong.
4
My-
years
Jack
old.
Dempsey
and my-
versus
Jack Johnson.
And my dad
Jack
put the
Johnson.
boxing gloves on me and took me in the garage. And when I dreamed, when I woke up, I was seeing stars and boxing.
That explains the CT.
Right,
He
right.
got it when he
Dad
was 4
used to
years old.
Yeah, Dad used to
The
take me in the
CTE
garage, man.
The CTE
Often.
started.
But no, I
Oh,
can't
sorry.
remember.
I do remember 1960, December of 1969. My grandmother came over from Italy. All right, and I remember my mom. I'd never seen my mom so fired up. Nino Benvenuti from Italy, my mom's favorite boxer at the time, was fighting a guy named, I believe it was Don Fulmer, and he won the fight. But I remember my mom had a pink sweater, which I still saved to this day, and she threw it at the TV when Fulmer had a good round. And I never seen my mom act like this before, right? And I remember that. And then Nino Benvenuti, as I said, was one of my mom's favorite fighters. And he obviously, every fight that he was on when he fought Emil Griffin, whoever he fought, we watched on TV. And that was very memorable. And it's crazy it was that long ago. Wow. Another one. Okay, Rhode Island. This is Tommy from Rhode Island. Oh, these are comments. So he says, okay, thank you guys. You guys are getting people interested in boxing again. Well, we appreciate that. We've been getting a lot of comments other than emails. I'll read a few email comments if that's okay. Gary from Philly, you guys are never boring. You guys tell stories that I have not heard, especially from Jim. Give great insight, but not boring. Thank you.
Smokopedia.
I said from the beginning, boxing variety show. And I said, we're going to be entertaining and informative. And I think we are, especially these two young men here. Jimmy from Pittsburgh, I enjoy your show so much. You guys make it fun, but give great information. Stuff I never knew. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you for watching, Jimmy. And we appreciate the emails. Keep sending them
coming.
both
Keep
on
them
the
coming.
boxing email that we have on the screen and to my show. This is Romano. Italian guy, that's good. At least I think he's Italian. From Pennsylvania. Love the way you guys get along. You guys can see that you guys are close. Like the different opinions and the way you guys say them. I say it all the time. Love these guys. I told somebody this yesterday. Sometimes if I'm not in the greatest of moods, I know I'm going to see them at the show, automatically it picks up. They're great at what they do, but they're even greater people. Even though their opinions are wrong sometimes. And Luther's hard on my brothers, but that's okay. We love them anyway. But so we'll save the rest. We have one more real quick. Love the different topics. This is from Tony from Ohio. Love the different topics. Love the passion you guys display. Thank you. And we thank all of you guys
Yes,
for the
thank you.
emails.
Keep
We
them coming.
appreciate it.
Go
Keep
Cleveland
watching it.
Browns.
See, that's what I'm saying. Where'd that come from? But anyway, and then Luther will answer a question, and Jim will say, Luther, you didn't answer the question.
Right,
But that's
right.
okay. We love each other. All right. We hope you enjoy the show as much as we enjoy
Yes.
bringing it to you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Boxing Authorities.